thank them for their service or sacrifice for this country. And we wanted to also, on this day, highlight the 2023 Purple Heart Patriot Project Mission. All right, we can turn down, Patty, the music. There you go. Awesome. The 2023 Purple Heart Patriot Project Mission, which will be open to the public. This is a multi-day salute to service, brings Purple Heart recipients from across the nation to New York for what is described as a trip of the lifetime. So we wanted to say hello to the Honor Mission Executive Director, Colonel Russ Vernon, and a past Patriot Project honoree who is with us, and that is Joe Hill. And gentlemen, how are you? Good morning. Welcome.
Fine, thank you.
Glad to be with you this morning.
Yes, and I want to thank you all so much for your time this morning. And Russ, tell us a little bit about this Purple Heart Patriot Project mission.
So we work hard to ensure we pay tribute to our nation's 1.8 million combat wounded and those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So every year we select a recipient from each state around the nation to represent their state at a week-long mission in New York. Last year, Joe Hill, who's with us, represented Delaware, and Albert Lorette from Houma, a four-time Purple Heart recipient, which is quite rare, represented Louisiana. Joe happens to have two, and it's important that we never forget the heroism of these patriots. They deserve to be honored and remembered. And through our various educational support and tribute programs, we aim to always ensure that those who sacrificed for our country are never forgotten. We're actually opening up today nominations for the 2023 mission, and those nominations will be open until the end of the year, at which time we'll go through the thousands we received and select the best of the best from each state. And not only do we look at the recipients' wartime service, but what they've done since they've come home. You know,
Yes.
These are humble heroes that continue to serve their communities in many respects after their time in service is complete.
Right, and we can't thank our veterans enough, and we need to do it every day, not just on Veterans Day. And but it is a great way to be able to focus our attention on our veterans. And for this project, I think it is tremendous that you're doing this for our Purple Heart recipients. And Joe, thank you so much for being with us. And tell us a little bit about what this meant to you to receive this recognition.
Oh, first of all, it was quite an honor because it was a surprise to me that I was nominated and to be chosen and to represent my state. And the staff does a great job. From the time you arrive on Monday, we were there from Monday to Friday, and we were made to feel special the whole time. And you're there with all different branches of the service, all different wars, and it was just an amazing time. We had such a good time. It was a lot of camaraderie, and when I left, I said that was probably one of the best events in my life since I returned from Vietnam.
Well, and that's fantastic that you were able to experience that. Well-deserved. We're paying tribute to your courage and sacrifice. We're a grateful nation, and we say thank you. And this is not done enough, Russ, and that's why I think we need to highlight this even more. So let's talk about nominations, because I'm sure we have lots of people out there in the audience who would like to nominate folks for this. How do they go about doing that?
So www.purpleheartmission.org, they submit the nomination accompanied by up to a 350-word essay on their nominee, and you can't nominate yourself. So like Joe said, he didn't even know he had been nominated, and he got the call from me one day saying, "You're coming to New York and you're going to represent the state of Delaware." So that
must be a lot of fun, right, Russ, to be able to call these winners and tell them this. That's probably one of the things you enjoy the most in your job.
I do enjoy it. I get hung up on a few times. I think it's a crank call.
Joe, you didn't hang up on him, I hope.
No, I didn't hang up on you, but I was still questioning the call anyway.
But it is,
as you said, Joe, you didn't. This was a total surprise to you, correct?
Oh, it was, because I had no indication that this even existed, and to be honored in such a way, and it was a true honor, because you're there with men and women. It wasn't just men; it was women who were in our group, and to see people from all over the country. And one of the good things, before, I just want to talk on this, is that when you're there, you never eat meals with the same people, which I think is a great idea, because you get to meet people from the whole group instead of just hanging with a couple of people. So my wife really enjoyed it. And she was a veteran. She's a veteran of the Air Force. So we had a great time.
That's great. And as you say, Russ, it's a great opportunity to connect with fellow Purple Heart recipients and share stories that only these types of heroes can appreciate. So tell us a little bit more about the 4-day Patriot Project mission. You got all kinds of activities, right?
Yes, so it's amazing. They go around, visit the Statue of Liberty, the 9/11 Memorial, which is really quite emotional. We've got more and more Afghanistan, Iraq veterans, and most of them signed up after 9/11. So to be able to see the memorial on the piece of land where those towers came down, you can only imagine how emotional that is. They spend a day at their museum that was built in their honor in the Hudson Valley. They spend time at George Washington's headquarters, and what most people don't know is the precursor to the modern-day Purple Heart was the Badge of Military Merit, which George Washington himself created by decree in 1782. And the modern-day Purple Heart was given out by General MacArthur on the same piece of ground in Windsor, New York, that George Washington gave the first badges of military merit. So they get to stand on that ground. They get to see where it all started. Then they spend a tremendous day at West Point, which is quite historic in many respects. And they produce our nation's leaders. They've produced presidents, great generals, and then, especially for the Vietnam veterans like Joe, there's a welcome home rally, and the Vietnam veterans and all these heroes get the welcome home they should have gotten the first time.
Exactly.
And it's just an amazing, emotional event. Yeah. I think by the time they go home, these heroes are exhausted. But like Joe said, it's really a trip of a lifetime. And along the way, there's lots of surprises, incredible guest speakers, and everyone's there in their honor. It's really a private event.
Gentlemen, it's been an honor to have you both on the program, and thank you for your service. Thank you for joining us on this Veterans Day. We're going to link to where people can make these nominations. They're due December 31st. The winners will be announced on President's Day, February 20th, 2023. And it has been a true pleasure to have you gentlemen on the program. Thank you so much. Jeff Crouere here. We've got to go. We'll be right back.